been a wife, but let me tell you something. Being a wife is making sure you have the soap powder. Being the wife is making sure you might throw those clothes in the washing machine. Being a wife is not coming to pick up your drawers after you. That is
Who said you had to pick up the drawers? That's what said y'all want to go. This is my point here with that. Yeah. We always act like that's such a big thing. Like, I know, especially for the women. Wait a minute. Especially for the women that got kids. Y'all should be cleaning the house anyway. Y'all should be cooking anyway. So you cook.
Great catch. I'm a great wife. I'm a great this. And it's like that hasn't been validated.
All these single girls are yours too. I don't know.
The one thing that I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with a grown-ass man,
there it is.
He has a vision and a purpose for his life.
Thanks.
And what he wants in the future. And what I see is that a lot of these modern women don't want to fall into and play their part in that purpose and in that vision because they have their own purpose and their own vision. Mm-hmm. Not sure responsibility to motivate a man.
Right.
A man should have his own motivation, his own direction. Your job is to inspire. It's a complete difference. I think a lot of ladies get a man.
What's good? What's good? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck. We got Vince on deck. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So we got Vince checking in as well. I'll let him get situated. Shout out to y'all joining us tonight. Let's do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Likes are free. Hit that like button. Also, hit that share button for us as well. Like I said, we want to get this content out to as many of our people as possible. Like I said, to, bring them in to join these conversations, bring their perspective, and make for even better outcome and solutions. So, yeah, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Smash that share button as well. Except for all my YouTube folks, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. So we got to get these subscribers up. So hit all of them. The subscribe, the like, and the share. Hit them all. Just go and let loose. Go on, let loose. All right, let me get right on into this so I can get this information out here. All right, so here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming in through an Apple device, you got to use Safari to come through. But yeah, drop this in your browser. You can join us on the panel. You do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose. We always encourage you to keep your camera on. Plus also saves you a little bit of typing, you know what I'm saying, in the meantime. In addition, we have this link in all of the chat feeds, so you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook, or you can shoot us a message and we'll get it to you that way as well, or drop a comment, however you want to do it. But yeah, if you're watching us right now, if you're checking in, so I see we got a chunk of folks coming in off of YouTube. If you're checking in, drop a comment, let us know you're here. Let us know where you're representing. See what we got in the building tonight. J.U. Griffin in the building, my man. Much love, respect, and blessings, everyone. What's going on, J.U. Griffin? We appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you holding us down every night on the show. Donovan in the building. He said, what up, though, fam? What's going on, Donovan? Appreciate you checking in as well tonight with us, man. Yeah, we got another one, man, but we always appreciate you holding us down, man. All right, I'm going to drop this link down for a minute. Let me know if you need the link. We will get it to you. Okay, I said once again, everybody watch right now, do me a favor and hit that like button. Smash that like button for us. Smash that like button. All right, let's see what we got. I don't know. You want to get right on into this, Chloe? What you think?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, huh? Let's go, huh? Okay. Hold on. We got one more. See Joe in the building. He said, what up, though? What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you joining us tonight, brother. Always holding us down every Wednesday night. Appreciate you. All right. So I guess we're going to get on right on into this. See what we got. So, yeah, we got a topic tonight, and I got some curveballs, too. I've been hitting y'all with the curveballs. Actually, I might make that a part of the conversation. I'll meet y'all with some curveball videos towards the end as it gets a little wild. Is that checking in? Is that JR? JR, what's going on, man?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. How you doing?
I'm all good, thanks. See you?
Doing well, man. All right, we just getting started, man. So hold tight. We just getting started. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I got some more comments coming on. Hold tight. Kenyatta in the building. She said, "Happy Wednesday." What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you checking in with us tonight as well. Happy Wednesday to you. All right, so we're going to go and get on into this. I'm going to drop this first one. I said I'll hit us with some curveballs later in the conversation. So topic for tonight, men need to stop dating. I don't know if I like that title. Right. Let me run that back. Topic for tonight, men need to stop dating. Okay, well, we're going to see where this go right here. We're going to see where this goes. Let me find that video. Let's see. Okay.
Asking me, how come they'll never see me with another woman? So your answer is, because I don't date women. They all yours. Y'all can have all the women. I've had enough. We on something else now. Us next level humans, we on peace, power, and protection. And can't no woman provide any of that. I'm going a different route. Y'all can keep chasing women, living your life to impress women, trying to smash all the women. You can do whatever you want to do. Enjoy yourself. But remember, she's not going to bring you peace, power, or protection. I don't want to have nothing to do with dating no woman. Y'all can have that.
I saw this video this morning, and even though I'm a woman, I strongly agree with him. We're all aware of the many women that are out here searching for that 1% man. Wealthy, attractive, 6 foot tall, and whatever else they're looking for. But there's a flip side. Finding a good-hearted woman is as rare as finding that 1% man. So even though they're out there, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Sounds innocuous enough. Just keep digging until you find the right woman. But here's the caveat. The haystack is also dangerous. While that man is searching for that rare needle amongst the hay, he's also encountering machetes, swords, grenades, landmines, and all sorts of other dangers. So to find a needle while rummaging through landmines is counterproductive for men. See what I'm saying? A woman in search of a 1% man indeed has an uphill battle ahead of her, and most likely she'll never find him. But she didn't lose anything while she was searching for him. She's not at risk the way that a man in search of an honorable woman is. The woman might get her feelings hurt, while a man can lose his finances, his home, his freedom, his sanity, and a whole lot more. Men have too much to lose, even if what he has might not appear as much. But the thing is, to him, what he has is everything. And there are women out here that are eager for that, even if that's not what they want in the long run. They are snacking along the way toward their goal. They are snacking along the way in search of that 1% man. So they will nibble. They will nibble on men that they don't want along the way. It keeps them going. It keeps the nails done. It keeps the hair done. It pays for all sorts of little things. I've said this often enough on this app, that if I was a man today, I would sit this one out for however long it takes for women to correct themselves. And I believe it will happen. But things are going to get a whole lot worse before they get better again. And while that's happening, my advice to men is to utilize that time to level yourselves up by any means necessary. You now have the time to focus exclusively on yourselves. The stigma of being a man without a woman is fast evaporating. Back in the day, a man would be tarred and feathered if he wasn't married and starting a family by a certain age. But not anymore. Y'all have good reason to stay single now, and not many men are going to question or come for you because most men understand. There are women that might try to shame you for being single, but seriously, who cares? It was a little sad for me to agree with the creator of that video because I believe strongly in men and women being together. But not under these circumstances. It's just too dangerous for men out here. And again, if I was a dude, there's no way I would risk it.
Okay. Topic for the night. Men need to stop dating. Okay. I saw some comments came in. Let me get these caught up real quick. Let's see. Shout out to Eva Wright. She said, hey, everyone, the Wrights are in his house. What's going on, Wright family? Appreciate y'all checking in. Shout out to Eva Wright as well. Let's see. Era Black TV, haven't men stopped dating already? I don't know, Era Black. They still out here. I don't know. See, shout out to Donovan. He said, hey, that's Rodney from Southfield High. What Rodney you see, man? Hold on. Fill me in, Donovan. I know you done seen something I ain't seen, man. Fill me in. Oh, wait. In the video. You know what, man? I think you're right, Donovan. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. That face do look familiar. The face definitely does look familiar. Let's see, even Wright says sure was. Yeah, that face do look familiar. Small world. Let's see, Donovan said, bottom line, there's a lot of boo-boo in the dating pool. Now, we know there's definitely some things floating around in the dating pool. That is for sure. See, Air Black TV said, I think men date who they having sex with or don't mind dating the women they are having sex with. Let's see, this is why men talk so much about sex up front or at the beginning, so they feel open and want to date. Okay. I hear that. Let's see. Air Black TV said men don't want to invest in a woman that can discard them. Okay. No, I hear that as well. Let's see. Donovan says, shouldn't we call this era the Eve syndrome?
Please expand on this, Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan, you got to give us a little more context, man. A little more context. See, Joe said, let's see, men need to stop dating. So why they come on, Joe.
See what I'm saying? This is exactly what this is, Joe. This is the same thing.
No. Come on, Joe. You already know better than that, man.
It's like you reading my thoughts. It's the same thing I said when I saw the video. I was like, he might not be dating. You see, you use the word specifically dating. He's still sleeping with somebody.
Come on, now that's assumptions. Now we ain't about to do that.
That's
assumptions.
He's sleeping with
Dang. See, Kenyatta said in this day and age, both men and women are being shamed. Okay, I feel that. I was about to buck that for a minute, Kenyatta. I was about to buck that. But I feel what you're saying. Let's see, Air Black. Let's see, people are playing around with dating instead of saying exactly what they want from someone straight up. This is how all the games and dating and the dating game takes place. Serious people don't want to play games. That's facts.
Period.
That's facts. I agree with that. All right. So let me come on to the panel. So I know you guys saw the video. Guess that might be Rodney in the video. Shout out to Rodney in the video if that's you. So y'all saw the video. So the brother was talking about the fact that he done with dating. He'd had enough. He's looking for peace, power, and protection from here on out. He said us intelligent, or however he said it, us intelligent humans, however he said it. But he looking for the PP and
next
the P.
level.
These next level humans. And then the young lady got on, and you know, she kind of co-signed on some things that he said, and so forth, so forth. So we dropped the question to the panel: do you think the fellas need to stop dating? You know, based on what we're seeing out here now, should the fellas just pull back and as they used to say, lay in the cut, or should they continue to do what they do and continue to, you know, keep on the path to finding their misses? So we come to the panel. So Chloe, Vince, JR, anybody come off mute if you're thinking something. If you got a comment, I see you coming off, Vince. Go ahead, Vince. What you thinking, man?
The more I'm in these conversations, the more I've actually talked to men that are discouraged. They have a very negative view of marriage and a very negative view of women. First thing they go to is she gonna take my money, she gonna leave me, she gonna divorce me, and I'm like, I didn't really know that there were so many men that were so negative on relationships with no women. I mean, y'all have had those experiences. I mean, my first wife and my first divorce, I mean, I got raked over the coals, but it was because of who I picked. I don't necessarily think it was because of all women and everybody gonna do me like that. It was a bad situation from the start. So it wasn't that it was all women, it was the women that I chose. But then when I learned better, did better, I thought better. I didn't have this negative. And then a lot of these guys, they so concerned about their money, they don't really have a lot of money. But I guess that's relative to what, you know, somebody could be making 50 and think it's, you know, I don't want to take my, you know, my bicycle. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I've been out of the game for about 5 years. I don't know if it's changed that much, but to me, you know, with the single people that I do know, it's not a lot of dating. It's a lot of hookup culture. It's a lot of pull up. It's a lot of meet me over here. And if I think you're sexy, then let's get down. I got partners that don't go on dates at all. They smashing 2-3 chicks a week. You know, they see somebody attractive, pull up. And then if the sex might be decent, then they might hit a Applebee's and a Cheesecake Factory a little later. Or the chick just needed that thing knocked off and polished off, and now she want a boo thing, and he like, well, I got what I wanted already. It's too late. So yeah, I think some men need to stop dating and get their minds right and get their intention straight.
Right. Okay. I feel that right there. Chloe, you want to say something?
Yeah, I agree with Vince. I'm gonna say yes. I think that I agree with Vince, but I also I agree with Kenyatta. Like, I think men do need to stop dating. I think women need to stop dating for that matter. And I think if you're concerned about all those landmines that she's talking about in the video, then you need to start courting. You guys were so dead set on making sure that we establish the difference between dating and courting. Y'all really wanted us to know that there's a difference. So, okay. So now we've established there's a difference. So then stop dating and court. That means that you're not sleeping with these women, and women, you're not sleeping with these men. You're not, because you're intentionally looking for the person. So some of this stuff you can avoid when you don't take a relationship to a place that it shouldn't go. If you're not intentional, if you don't have any kind of feelings with this person, in terms of this being someone you want to be with, right? Like, if this is not somebody you want to be with, you wouldn't even be entertaining them. You will find that out early on. Maybe you only need one date to find that out. You might not even need a date. You might just need to keep talking to that person for a decent amount of time to figure out that that's not it. It's not there. But what's happening is some of these landmines and things that we're coming across, we're creating this stuff. We're doing it. we're putting ourselves in situations too soon with people that we don't really know. We're not taking the time to even vet these people to see if we should even be around these people. And so now we get upset and say there's pee in the dating pool. Well, are you contributing to the pee in the dating pool? You might be the pee in the dating pool. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, stop dating. Start courting people. If you're looking for somebody with peace, power, protection, then that there you go. There's your criteria. So don't even entertain, don't sleep with, none of that. Don't slide into the DMs of nobody that ain't bringing peace, power, or protection. When I first saw his video, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, the first thing I thought was speak for yourself. Because just like Ben said, maybe it's the women that you've come across. It's obviously not every woman, just like it's obviously not every man, right? But after old girl broke it down, I said, okay, there's validity here, right? There's obviously some validity here. But my answer is yes. Stop dating, start courting, and stop having so much sex with all these people that you don't like, don't know, and don't even want to be around.
Okay, go ahead, Vince. Go ahead, man.
You know, someone made a comment about pee in the dating pool, and they said, "Well, stop swimming in the community pools. Go to the exclusive pool. Stop going to that pool out on Belle Isle that everybody get in there with their shoes on and dirty and everything else. You might need to go to a country club swimming pool because that's exclusive. Right. So it depends on where you're swimming."
Yeah, that's a valid point, Vince. But see, we gotta consider this, man. Can everybody get in the country club? Yeah, but I think that's part of the issue. Because that's what I was about to ask. So I know we got a lot of folks watching right now. We got a lot of folks in the comments. So drop a comment because I'm trying to understand something. Why is everybody coming across so many duds? Like I'm in a lot of these conversations, you know, I'm in a lot of these chat rooms, whatever you want to call it. But everybody is always talking about all these bum females, all these bum men. And I'm like, why are these the only people that y'all coming across? Like, I mean, we ain't hitting no percentages. I mean, we can't do a 70-30. Like, why is everybody you coming across lackluster? Why are all the guys that the ladies say that they coming across, you know, these irresponsible baby daddy, multiple children, don't take care of his business, don't protect, provide? Why is that always the man that the ladies are allegedly coming across? And then vice versa for the fellas. Why is it always the lady who all over the place, who ain't got her act together, who don't carry herself like a woman, who don't respect her body? Like, why is it always that woman? Like, why are the percentages? I guess that's really my question, because I like to deal in percentages. Why are the percentages so skewed? Yeah, why is what I'm seeing not? I'm coming across 80% good people and 20% bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming across, you know, 70% decent women, 30% that's just not gonna make it. Like, why is everybody just whack? Because that's what I see. All the men and all the females is whack. Can't nobody ever come across a good man or a good woman. So let me get down to the root of what's actually happening. Why is that going on? I saw you come off, Vince. I saw Joe. I saw you come off too, man. Either one of y'all can say something. Go ahead.
I'll make mine quick. In my opinion, it's because people lazy dating. A lot of, especially women, feel like good men are easy. They feel like they're easy. And they don't want to work. I said, well, why don't you go to these different types of places? Why don't you dress a certain way? Why don't you put yourself together a certain way? They don't want to do it. They do a lot of redos. A lot of women do a lot of redos. People they went to high school with, people they used to date 10 years ago, and they redo him because it's easy. They already, and then a lot of times these ladies are busy. And I understand that you might have kids, you might have jobs, and you know the men that they want have time. They want to spend time, so it's really a pickle. But I think it kind of boils down to being lazy, and men too. They're lazy too. They don't want to take a woman out and see if she's quality. They want the easy hit. And then they want to make the easy hit something. Right. So they want to do it after they already had the sex or whatever. And with the ladies, I mean, they just really lazy. They think they're going to find them at the little hood bar they keep going to. I say, stop going to the little bar on Joy Road in Greenfield and take your ass out there to Bloomfield Hills or out there to somewhere you going to meet a more quality type of guy. They don't want to do that.
I feel you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we cutting them corners. Okay. I just wanted to understand what that is. Let me come down to JR. JR, you want to say something, man?
Yeah. I just want to ask the guys a question. Miss Chloe, do you mind just covering up your ears, please, if you don't mind? Yeah. Obviously, for the fellas, obviously including Joe as well. Obviously, I know the two guys at the top. Obviously, you're married, right? I just want to ask, obviously, throughout your life, obviously with your, obviously I don't know your situation, but let's say obviously with your dealings with women, right? How many women have you left, and how many women have left you?
Damn.
That's a good question. Let me go to Joe. Joe, you want to take that one, man? Go ahead, Joe.
I'm thinking. Oh man, who's gonna take the lead on this?
Vince ready to grab it too, man. You can't play with Vince. Go ahead, Vince. Let me see what Vince say. Go ahead, Vince.
I had a lot of experience on this one. Usually I mess up because I've told y'all I've been cheating and a liar my whole dating existence. So most of the time I've gotten caught.
And then they end up leaving.
And we've tried to work it out because one thing that I understood and I'm kind of confident in is that I'm the type of person that always brings quality to a person's life. So when I had girlfriends, I always brought quality I left. I never took anything from them. You know, I was always kind of smart. They asked me a question, Vince, how to get my credit straight? Vince, how with the kids or something. So I was always good, and I was very, very close and good friends with the women that I've dated. So I would say 70-30, they left.
What? They left?
Because I was cheating mainly.
I hear that. Joe, you got an answer yet, or?
I'd say 50-50.
50-50. Okay.
Where it's like one-sided on either end of the relationship. So either I'm too into the girl or she's too into me, but neither one of us are into each other with the same degree of passion. I've learned that it's best if both parties are into each other strongly, equally. Like the one-sided thing doesn't last very long, no matter if it's male or female and male. From my perspective as a man, it appeared that it would last longer if the woman's more interested. But then I find myself not with the woman that I really wanted. So then I left, or vice versa. So that's a challenging part where you're kind of like, so I learned that my approach has to be different, like Vince said. It has to be from a place of me wanting the same things and her wanting the same things from the same relationship. It just can't be making either person their world and putting something else at the center of that. And for me, I learned that was God. That's what I learned. So if God isn't the center of that, then you end up inadvertently idolizing the human being in a relationship. So I've learned that, I've experienced that, doing that to a woman and having that done to me. And it doesn't work. It sounds like it would, idealistically. Oh yeah, you want the girl who wants you more than life itself. It sounds good on paper until you can't breathe because she's up under you instead of under God, under prayer, the Bible, if that's what she reads, something that gives her some sort of foundation that doesn't rely on you being her foundation, and vice versa for the man. So it's 50-50 for me.
That's real. That's real right there. Go ahead, Vince. Then we'll come back, JR. I want to see where you're going with it. Go ahead, Vince.
Then I'm gonna make it quick. Then the ones that it was crazy because, like I said, I don't necessarily come from marriage, but my grandparents were married, so I always wanted to be married. Even though I was cheating and lying, I always still wanted to be married. So a lot of times the cheating put a damper on our relationship as far as getting to the crust of a person, if you understand what I'm saying. And when I decided that I was not going to do that anymore, I was able to really connect and be in my purpose and really have an honest and open relationship with my wife. And then the ones that I did leave, I understood that it wasn't going nowhere. It wasn't leading to marriage, and that's what my goal always was. And I understood that 90% of it was my fault because I broke the trust. And even though they had their issues, I broke the trust first. So it was always and that's why I think if men would speak up or leave before they cheat, we would get to the real problems in these relationships. But once a man cheats, that's always the big joker. Always the big joker. Oh, he cheated. And I want to ask so bad. Well, why you think he cheated? But then you know what the answer gonna be. Well, it don't matter. He shouldn't have did it. Which, okay, I understand that, but why did he cheat? Have you ever asked him? Well, it don't matter. He shouldn't have did it. Which, okay. But I think that we would get to a lot more understanding of these relationships if men would just leave or talk to a woman before he cheats. It would be a total 360 in these relationships.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, Vince. That's a conversation we got to have one day. Yeah, I noticed this whole cheating situation comes up, but do we ever ask the man why? Or do we actually authentically ask the man why? Yeah, why did he make that decision to do that? And I think that would shed a lot of light on some of these situations. So yes, I'm gonna write that down. That's a conversation we gotta have one day. Let's say that's a real grown man, grown woman conversation right there, especially if cats can handle it. Go ahead, Joe. And I'm gonna come to JR because I want to see where he was going. Go ahead, Joe.
No, that's a different conversation. But if most women if they go to a strip club, they'll see why. It's not even about the sex sometimes. It's just not about the skin. It's about the way that these women treat the man. So they're not getting that at home. And sometimes, occasionally, if a man is lucky that night, he'll take the opportunity. A lot of times, and I've had a lot of strippers tell me this, we don't we show off our bodies, but it's like what they're more interested in is that connection, that being listened to, being heard. They come home from a hard day of work, they go to their wife don't want to hear it, they're giving them a lot of trouble, so they don't have peace at home, so they come to the strip club for peace there. And they get things from the stripper that they should be getting from at home with their wives. So that's what they usually go for. It's that softness. And it's like these women, although they're being paid to be soft, that's just what we gravitate towards naturally. So yeah, she's my wife. She's taking care of the kids. She's cleaning the home, but she's not giving me that extra something that I look for. So I go out to these other women, strip club being a more extreme example, to get that energy. It's an energy. It's hard for me to even describe what it is, but it just feels good when you're around it. And it's not antagonistical. It's not she's not nagging you. She's just there to listen to you, to rub your feet, to rub your back, to tell you how strong of a man you are, even though you might look like you about 90 pounds, on a good day. She's gonna boost your ego. She's gonna do a lot of things that the woman at home is not doing. So, and again, the strip club is an extreme example, but some man, they say, you know what, she's making me feel so good. She's also want to have sex with me, so I'm gonna do that too. So they'll follow through with it. But that's not always the case. But usually it's like we emotionally check out first before we start going to a physical release of that energy. But that's just been my experience, and all the women who've told me about this, just professional strippers who tell me how it really goes down. Because I went in with a preconception, they just come in for the skin. No, they just want to be heard. They just want to be listened to. You'd be surprised. Men have paid me $200, $300 an hour just to be a therapist. just to listen to what they have to say that their wife at home won't listen to, or the girlfriend at home won't listen to. So that's a big problem. But it's not the only. I won't say it's all the women. Sometimes it's just the men. Sometimes we just got the sex drive and it's just crazy, and there's no excuse for it. You just want to go out there and sow your wild oats. So that plays a role too. But I know you said it's a conversation for a different day, so I just want to touch on that.
Yeah. No, we gotta have that conversation, man. Plus, I don't want.
So y'all just want to be. So y'all just want to be lied to. Just say that.
Oh my God! Kinda, in a crazy way.
Just say that.
Like if we're not where we at. Oh yeah,
just
I see you
being want to be lied to.
It's a setup, Joe. Don't do it, man. Don't do it, Joe.
You're my Spider-Man. You're my Batman. I am? Really? And then you'll be surprised how much he'll want to live up to that. It's crazy. It's something about a woman, if she's lying, but she makes it convincing enough, then it's like he'll want to live up to that, and that lie may eventually become the truth. It may become the reality, and both him and the woman benefits from that lie that she initially told. Oh yeah, you're going to be a big CEO one day. He's working as a janitor. Really? 10 years later, he's the CEO of a major janitorial company. That's how it usually works. It's a woman.
That sounds like a finesse. That's a finesse, Joe. Hold
they
on.
Know, ladies, they want to be lied to.
Man, let me come back to JR. I gotta let JR finish his point. JR, so you asked that question about who's leaving? Is it more of the man leaving or the woman leaving? So where was you going with that, man?
Yeah, no, so basically, me and obviously my friend, we're just having a conversation of like, that typically guys here tend to actually not leave the relationship. Typically. Right? I know obviously Vince went down the road of like the whole cheating and whatnot. So obviously to a woman's point of view, that's disrespect, right? So what I was basically trying to allude to was basically today, the reason why obviously a lot of guys obviously falling back is just due to blatant disrespect towards men. Just there's no basic respect towards men. So if we're gonna say when Vince mentioned about him cheating, right, we'd probably say that was more of the disrespect that the men would dishing out. Women were still dishing that disrespect, but probably not to the scale. And it's just gone the opposite way, where less men are cheating because not a lot of men engaging with women, but a lot more women are just disrespecting men. Hence why men are falling back.
And what does it look like, JR? Like when you say disrespect, what are the most common ways you've seen that disrespect looks like that I don't think a lot of women are even aware of? They'll say, I'll name one that happened recently. Beautiful woman. But then it's like, do I even want to talk to her again? It was her interjecting, cutting me off. Let me stop you right there. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Whoa. And I'm like, this feels, I don't think she realizes how emasculating that feels. In my desire, it feels like me having an argument or a conversation with another man, but it's like, I don't want that conversation with you. You're a woman. You're supposed to be soft, feminine. So it confuses me at first. And then it makes me not want to engage with that individual any longer. That's just one. But I don't even think it's malicious. It's just the way she was raised, how she is around men, how a lot of men accepted it because of her appearance. So they'll deal with it because, well, you know what? I can see myself never marrying her, never dating her for real, sleeping with her, yes, because as a man, I still got.
Okay, hold up. Hold that, Joe. So hold up. That right there. So if you're saying that the young lady is disrespecting you, why are we then willing to still sleep with her?
I was about to just get to that because it's because we're just men. So it's like that. No. Hold on. Let me.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say just that because I don't want to sound like it's a cop out. But
tell the truth, man. Let it out.
It's like, how do I describe it? Testosterone, right? It's very, very powerful stuff. And when you're in the mood for something, you'll look at something and say, oh, I can't deal with that for longer than a day in the sack. I can't deal with, but I'll deal with it for now. Like you'll look at the sexual aspect and separate that from the the bond or the connection that you would normally have with a woman. So we kind of compartmentalize it. We'll say, okay, I can't deal with her in this aspect after the bedroom activities, but I can deal with her in the bedroom, if that makes sense. So because we still have a sex drive, it's just like that doesn't just go away just because you don't want to date women, quote unquote. It's still there. You know what I'm saying? But so some men, they'll take the higher road. They'll say, well, I'm not going to sleep with any woman at all. I'll just wait. And some men are just like, no, I gotta release somewhere, and I don't want to do it with my right hand. I don't want to do it with the porn. I still like women. That doesn't change. So you have to juggle with that. I don't want to deal with her long term, but I will deal with her short term. I think there's a song that said, not a long time, but a short time. I think Drake made a song like that. So that's exactly what it is.
But okay, okay. So this is the problem, though, Joe. Let me listen. This is not directly at you, right? Because I've heard this before. I think this is the problem. So I think, as men, I don't think we value ourselves enough. Yep, and what I mean by that is we have to start out, because I don't want to get us. I know sometimes these algorithms will flag these certain words and all that. So I'll use eggplant, right? Or better, I'll use the D. I'll use the D. So I think as men, sometimes we have to value our D. Yep, and what I mean by that is our D, everybody ain't worthy of the D. Yep, just because she's a female and she's an easy smash or whatever you want to call it, she ain't worthy of the D. Yep, and I think that's where the issue comes in. We essentially, we have a situation where some women look at that as validation. Yeah, if this man is willing to lay down with me, he's validated me, even though her behavior may be whack. She may have the trashiest attitude out there. She may be disrespectful, but if you lay down with her, that validates and it overlooks all of that. It doesn't hold her accountable. Yeah, and that's part of our problem as men. We slang this D around to just anybody, and we got to change our approach. That's why I was going to go back to the original topic when we were saying, do men need to stop dating? And I was going to say no. Yeah, I was going to say men don't need to stop dating. They need to change their strategy and their method. Yeah, but every girl that you come across, she can't get the D. Let me just keep it a buck. She ain't worthy of the D. She ain't earned the D. So we gotta change our approach when it comes to this. Like I said, just because she a female don't mean you got to go give her the D just because she crossed your path. And see, what that will do is that will cause people to have to step their game up. Like Vince said when he talked about this easy and this lazy dating. See, people can lazy date because you allow them to be lazy. Yeah, they can come give you 50% and you still gonna give them the D, so they feel like they got something. Yeah, they can come give you 50% and you still take them out to dinner, so now they feel like they got something. So it's like, hey, I ain't got to do nothing additional. See, that's not how that works. And that's why I said, as men, we got to have higher standards for ourselves. Our bodies is just important as women's bodies. Let me keep it a buck. But we walk around like this thing, we just got to dish it out just because she a female, and that's not the case. We got to actually need to be more selective. And that's why I say I don't agree that men need to stop dating. They need to be more selective with the women that they date. They need to be more selective with the type of women that they entertain. They need to be more selective with the type of women that or better yet, we shouldn't even be slanging D anyway. Let me just keep it a buck. But if I'm just going to play to that side, they need to be more selective with who even is worthy of the D. But see, right now, that's not how a lot of guys move. And then when this thing goes sideways, going back to JR's question, who's doing more leaving of these relationships? What I'm saying? We know that it's women in this current day. Then when that thing goes sideways, then we sitting back like, man, she done, what Vince say, she done got me for my little money. She done took me. She done got over on me. And the whole time, if we were just more selective with how we were slanging the D around, maybe that never would have happened. So yeah, that's my position on it. We got to change how we look at and how we value ourselves as men. And I think that alone will change a lot of this whole situation. Go ahead, Vince. I saw you come off, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's what the brother Kevin Samuels was saying, and why he was so controversial. That he would often talk about discipline and how to be the man that you really want. You really have to have discipline. And I think that leads to a lot of pandering and it leads to a lot of bad behavior because most women understand that he want to have sex. So I can do and talk to him how I want to talk to him because every man wants sex. And if I look a certain way, I can just have my bad behavior, but I know eventually he's going to give me what I want. But when some men have said, no, I'm the prize. Women have, what, you the prize? What do you mean by that? My D is as precious as yours, as your privates.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny you bring that up because I was talking to my little cousins. They're both students at the University of Michigan. Great family. And my cousin and her husband often, they don't often, but they had me talk to them because I've had some experiences, let's say. And that's the one thing that I've kind of expressed to them, that you need to look at every woman you sleep with as possible your baby mother. Because if you have sex with her, there is no 100% protection. So you need to be exclusive. You need to treat your thing like it's gold. Because these boys are marks. They're educated. They come from great family. They marks out here. So they will have to move a certain way. And they can't let the P get them whipped. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what Joe is saying, but that's part of the problem. Then then they want to say after we've had sex, oh, you used me for sex. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did because we knew we ain't want to be bothered with you, but we want.
We played along. We play along with the BS and.
But then a lot of times I say that playing along, and that's a lot of the problems. People playing with fire, and they getting burnt. They having these babies they don't want. They getting in these situations that they don't want to get in because they weren't intentional and they wasn't selective.
Yep. No, that's real. Go ahead, Chloe. You want to say something?
I'm going to say to piggyback on Vince, I agree. Like, I know that was something that Kevin Samuels did speak on. But if you think about it, the space that he was largely responsible for popularizing, I'm not going to say it didn't already exist in some form, but the space that he was largely able to popularize, that space they don't really speak on that particular aspect of it. We're going to take it completely off of Joe, right? And we're just going to speak more of the topic in particular. Like, that's not talked about as much. It's not talked about the men valuing themselves in that way. The value that we hear all the time from men is their financial value, their resource. They don't talk about them valuing themselves just as a person without the money and the position and anything like that, just the height and all of the other stuff. Just like as a person, you valuing yourself, you valuing who you are when you strip everything away, because you still have value as a man. And society has not really sent the message to men that they are of value. Men have always been the workhorses. Men have always been the providers, and men have always been kind of like the punching bag for everything, while at the same time being the reason why everything kind of keeps rolling. But never have men been pedestalized for their value. And I just want to say that women of value have high value women. And when I say have high value women, I am not talking about anything that got to do with education or money. I'm talking about women of value, women who have high moral standards. They know how to carry themselves. These type of women, they care. about how a man carries him. They care about the amount of partners that a man has had. Any woman, and I'm just gonna go out there and say it, and it might be an unpopular opinion, but any woman that say she don't care about how many partners this man has had, or she don't, you know what I'm saying? She want him to be test driven before she wants him to be, you know, have a certain experience level. She don't value herself either. That's not a woman that I value. Now, realistically speaking, you know, a man might have had other partners. That's not what I'm saying. But to say out of your mouth that you don't even want to really fool with a dude if he doesn't have a certain level of experience, think about what you're actually saying. Why would a woman of value who values her persons and value herself want to be with a guy intentionally saying it's different if you meet a guy and he's had a past? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that's your preference. Your preference is the guy who's been around all the time. That's what you want. And if you come across a guy that's not that, you don't want it. You won't even entertain a guy that has been more selective, that it doesn't sleep around. That's different. That's different than just meeting a guy who has a past. That's two different things. Because listen, we have pasts, but that's the point that I'm making. Like, women care too. Women do care. And a lot of the qualities that y'all say y'all want in women, those type of women with those qualities that y'all want, they care a lot because they've probably taken care of themselves and they've kept themselves from all of that. So they don't want you bringing all of that to them.
Which women are these?
The women of value.
The good ones, JR. The good ones, man. The good ones.
I'm not gonna say like, you know, the women of value. Like, I'm just saying, and we're not talking about. Listen, guys, we're not talking about just the women out here that ain't men. We're not talking about the whole virgin conversation. I know people think we're all grown. Nobody is talking about that. Although if you find that, that's amazing and great. That's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is someone who is intentional. So this person has not been in the streets like that because they care, one, about themselves. They haven't. So, you know, once again, this is not about somebody having a past. This is about preference. And I've seen a lot of women out here saying, oh, you know, I got to try before and oh, you know, I can't fool with no dude that don't know what he's doing. And oh, I can't. And that's insane to me. Because you're basically saying that you're cool with the potential of having a lot of partners via the person that you're sleeping with. Because everybody that they slept with, you have now slept with.
Yeah, let me get this.
Saying that it's a priority. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be long-winded, but I needed to say that, like, it's a priority. Men, we do care, and men, you should care. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make.
No, that's real. Let me get this comment real quick. See, Eva Wright said that's because they don't think about the fact that anyone you lay with, you're taking on everyone else they laid with. It's very important. Soul ties.
It's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real right there. Yeah, no, I appreciate that comment, Eva Wright. No, that was spot on. That was spot on. Let me come back to JR. I'm gonna start curveballing us in a minute. JR. So how you on this topic, man? You agree that the fellas should stop, or you think they should keep going, man? Where you sit on this, JR?
Boy. Obviously it's like it's difficult, right? Because obviously for every guy, the game's different, isn't it? So obviously I'm in a relationship and feminism has done great wonders because I ain't got to take care of nobody. You know, like I haven't got a burden on me because I realized that I can also make a choice in this world today, you know. So that means, so what I mean by that is, like, you know, I've always had the conversation with my mom, like, yeah, I ain't really the type to get married because I know I ain't shit. That's me. Does that make sense? That's me.
Okay,
I know
I
I ain't
got you.
shit, yeah. So that's me keeping it real. But also at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, um, my mom's always been a good woman to my dad. But I've got two sisters, I've got cousins, and Lord have mercy.
Mm.
Yeah, these are just these are just the immediate family. So you can imagine what's out there. So like, so that's just like on a, you know, on the side of the disrespect, right? But let's go on the side of just
Mm.
in terms of just basic relationship and trying to work together, yeah. Like the reason why I said like, yeah, the feminism has done great wonders for me is because I'm able to actually play the game and be in the game, right? And I'll be able to attract the woman and be able to get sex. Now, because I know that they have a choice and they can flip flop, yeah, I also get the choice to flip flop. And there's one thing that my girl, yeah, that knows, and you know, she's I said it very, very clear, yeah. It's like, yeah, just know that I ain't ever gonna die for you because I don't have to die for you. So if you want me to have to go and do that for you, you're the one that has to get in line for me to have to go and do that with you, having to even think about having to ask me. So just best believe that if you're outside and something does happen, phone your brothers and phone your dad. That's it, because
Wow.
I'm not gonna die for you, because my mom's not gonna bury me.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Does that make sense? My mom's not gonna bury me because, like I said, it comes with the disrespect and the flip
Mm.
flopping. I am about to die for someone that's able to do that, and unfortunately, that's majority of the ladies out here now. I don't, you know, I've only ever been in two relationships, right? Now the two, obviously the current that I'm in and the lady that, my ex, it wasn't nothing toxic or anything like that. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't have to be like that. Yeah, at first it was good, but what happened was I started seeing the flip flopping. You know, when we
In what
first
way?
started.
Mm.
Okay, so for example, you know, every relationship is different, right? So she would always, cook for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get all that, you know, the breakfast, all of that. So, you know, so lovely. But
Mm-hmm.
she knew, like, hey, listen, I ain't the type to really get in the kitchen because I don't even get in the kitchen for myself. So I ain't doing that for you. But here's where, obviously, I want to be fair, right? I don't mind washing up. You know them ones. I'll get in the kitchen, wash up, whatnot. That's my payment. Uh, Back to you. If I'm sitting and watching football whilst you're cooking, and you need something from the shop, well, I'll run to the shop because you're cooking for me. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? So I understand all that stuff. So that's how it was. I would take care of her. You know, anything that she needed. So it got to the point where, you know, she's having a little something with her mum and whatnot. All right, cool. You're working from home. You're getting paid. I'll get you a ticket, go back to Africa where your dad is. He's got a home out there. The weather's good. You're still getting paid because you can work, you know, wash it out there and just go and get your mind right. Does that make sense? So, um, she's over there. She'll come back. I'll pay for the ticket. You know, we see each other. It was always a long distance relationship anyway from the get go. Does that make sense? But it worked for the first 3 years. And then while she's obviously in Africa, obviously I'm African, right? So I I understand um that her dad's gonna have certain beliefs and certain, you know, morals and whatever it is. It's just that typical African man. So I know that if I'm gonna have to marry your daughter, I'm gonna have to come a certain way. So that means if I'm gonna have to come a certain way, best believe your daughter better come correct as well. Because there ain't gonna be no flip flopping around there. Does that make sense? Because I don't have the choice to flip flop because I have to be a man. So guess what? If that's the case, my standard also is you better rise and you better stay rising. They ain't going back,
Ooh-wee.
they're not going back down here. And that meant what I mean by that is I mean, is duty. That's what they need to understand. So you're not about to make me understand that, I've got to do my duty, but you get to flip flop on. No, 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 no. It don't work like that. So while she's out there, you know, the whole hair, wig, stepmom, got a salon. She's done this hairstyle for her, brought it back. The dad's seeing it. The dad's like, no, no, take that back and change the color, whatever it is. My ex, she's found out. She's not happy, so she's come to me venting about her dad. Does that make sense? I'm thinking, like, hold on, but that's your dad. That's your dad. Does that make sense? So if you're not even happy with your dad, you know, not being happy about your hairstyle, yeah, or sorry, the color or whatever it is, what about me if I'm not happy with that hairstyle? Because when I was growing my hair, guess what? She met me when I had waves. She didn't like the long hair when I was growing it. Oh, I like your low hair. Okay, cool. Let me go back on the low hair because I'm tired of hearing you complain about my long hair. You know, just so people can be happy. You get where I'm coming from? So we get to that point where now this is the thing, right? She's in Africa. Dad's got good money. If you got good money in Africa, your money is long. Hey, you get to have chefs and cleaners and all of that stuff, right? So for about 4 or 5 days of the week, all that work is getting done. She ain't got to do nothing, right? But for the other 2 days, it's the ladies that's got to get up in the kitchen, cook and clean and all that. And she's complaining. And I'm thinking, yo, you've got I'm not even giving you that life. Does that make sense? I'm not even giving you that life. But your dad's able to even just, let you go back to his place. You're able to not even, get your hands dirty for most of the time because most of the things are done. But me, I'm not even at that stage to even give you that life and you're complaining. Jesus, this is going to be a problem. Yeah. So I can kind of sense, something's a bit off. Obviously, she's meant to fly back, whatever it is. Cool. Meant to meet up. I've spoken to my cousin. I'm like, yo, cuz, listen, something ain't right, Would I be wrong to say to her that if she wants to let this relationship go, all right, cool, we'll just let it go? He said, like, what? You're mad? Like, why would you let that go? So I was like, cool. So you know what? I ain't gonna sit down and wait. Let me call her. So I've called her and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Because I can sense a little vibe here. She's like, yeah, I'm not happy. I'm thinking, God damn, you ain't happy. I thought you was good between me and you. Does that make sense? So from there now, I'm thinking, hey, I thought I could see the happy meter, but I can't even see that shit no more. So I'm thinking, cool. He's like, it's gonna go. I understand the game today, or I just understand the game, right? The person that wants to leave, they don't have normal fight in the relationship, right? So if I'm trying to get you to stay now, everything's on me to keep you happy. You ain't got to do nothing to now trying to sustain this relationship. So I just had to let that go. So I just said to her, hey, if you want to stay, we can work this out. If you want to leave, I understand. She chose to leave. All right, thank you. See you later. We got to 4 years. Well, nearly 4 years, like literally a week before our 4-year anniversary, wherever it was, right? You get where I'm coming from? But it happens. But the thing is, like I said, I just understand the situation that we're in today. Hence why I always said to my mum, I ain't really on getting married because I see what it is out here. The whole flip-flopping. They ain't got to do whatever, you ask them to do. But you as a man, you always have to improve and you must always maintain. And we always talk about the word fair. Men complain about, it's not fair. I understand life was never fair and it's never going to be fair. But in this current state that we're in, there's no point trying to even, go above and beyond because you're just going to end up taking it out. And it's not about the money. It's not about, what Vince said about the money and whatnot. It's just like men are here to stay.
Okay, well, we on. Hold on, hold that thought, Jr. So I saw Chloe come off. I saw Vince ready to come up off that mute too.
Interesting.
So y'all, Chloe, you go first. Vince, you right after her. Go ahead, Chloe.
So I mean, the red flags that you saw for me are valid red flags, right? So I really don't have a comeback for that part because those are valid red flags. I would only say to you and to any man watching who isn't already in a committed relationship or marriage, I would just say to, just like we tell women to adjust their expectations, because there's what we want and then there's reality, right? That has to happen. If you believe that the woman that you want to be with forever isn't going to change, you set yourself up for failure. I am not the same version of myself that I was when my husband married me. I can't be. At 40, I can't be the same I was at 25. I can't. There's nothing in the world that I can do to have the same stamina, the same energy, the same hormonal balance, the same all of the things that I had at 25 at 40. I can't. Sorry, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. The way I bounced around here and cooked 3 meals a day and this and that and worked full time and all of that, I'm not going to be able to do that the same way forever. It's not, and I'm not even saying that's what you said, right? But I'm just saying for anybody that thinks that that's what it looks like, let me just tell you it doesn't. Now, that doesn't mean, however, that you should not have your expectations. And that doesn't mean that it's okay for a woman to start a relationship and be, giving a certain amount of time and energy and care and then just decide that she doesn't want to do it anymore. That's different. And that's not okay. It's not okay for a woman to do that. It's not okay for a man to do that. A man's duty, however, in a relationship is different than what a woman's duty in a relationship is. It just is. So there are going to be times where your girlfriend or wife or significant other is going to be in a space where she cannot do. She just cannot do. And in a way that you as a man may not encounter because our genetic makeup is different. Like there are times throughout the month where I don't really care what's going on. I can't do that. Can't. And I'm not going to force myself to. And at 40, I can't do it. Okay? I'm not doing it. I can't do it. No. And it is what it is. You can feel however you want to feel about it. I don't know what you talk to God. But I can't. So I think that, it just, we have to start having like realistic expectations. Like I would tell a woman the same thing. Like we have to be more realistic. Like that's just what it is, right? Your situation is slightly different. It sounds like she just didn't want to. That's different. But I think that we have to kind of, I just want people, I just feel like sometimes when we have these conversations, I just want to make sure, because I've been in a committed relationship, because I've been married for so long, and I see realistically speaking what it takes to put into this. When I talk to friends who have been married for maybe not quite as long, but some who have been married more, some have been married a little less, like, and we talk about what it takes to go into this. There are seasons in all of our lives. And you have to be prepared for that too, right? So just a note on long-term relationships and marriages, to go into it with a completely different mindset, because she is not, let me just tell you right now, not going to put the same energy into it forever. She ain't going to have it.
That's real.
So, yeah.
Go ahead, Vince.
I have a question for JR. What was your verbal intentions with this woman after a year?
Say that again, sorry.
What was your verbal intentions with this woman after a year of dating?
After a year of dating? So I'll just give a quick breakdown. So when we met, she had 2 years left at university, and then lockdown. Then obviously, lockdown happened. So like I said, it was always a long distance relationship. So she was closer to me when she was at uni, and then where she's actually from is obviously a bit further, right? So after obviously the whole lockdown and whatnot, she obviously went back home. We couldn't really see each other and whatnot. But the conversation always was, like I said, obviously, from the moment I was with her, yeah, I knew it's like, yeah, I gotta raise my game in it because her dad ain't gonna play about and all that stuff, right? You know where I'm coming from. So I knew that I had to raise my game. So the conversation always was like, cool, get your degree, all that stuff. I've met her dad. We had a conversation about would you want to get married and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, I see myself getting married because my mom and dad was married. So I do want to obviously do things the right way, you know. And we had that conversation, me, her, and her dad. We sat down right in front of her, you know. It wasn't no, grading session or whatever it was, but it's just a casual conversation. What kind of steps would you take and all that kind of things. Because I'm 28 now. We got together when she was 20. She was 20, I was 22. And then we broke up when I was 26. She was 24. Does that make sense? So, like, to me, yeah, it was just like not the perfect plan, but yeah, the perfect plan for me, right? We're cool. She's young. She's 20. I can get out of the game nice and quick, nice and early. All that stuff. I'm still young because I was out there. That was my first relationship at 22. So even though I never had no experience within a relationship, I still knew how to carry myself within a relationship. Because like I said, we never had no problems in that nearly 4 years. No arguing. No, you got to do this because I said so. No, we understood each other very well. Does that make sense? So there was nothing toxic about the relationship. It was just that, like I said, when she's gone back home, she's realized the magnitude of, like, hey, this is what is required of a lady when you come from this culture. So if your dad expects that of you, and I come from within the same culture, what the hell do you think I'm going to expect of you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying now, but to me, I think that this comes into a thing of dating is stupid because you spent 4 years and hopefully you've earned for these 4 years, but it was really after the first year. If it wasn't leading to marriage, then maybe you guys should have broke up then. I think that's and taking it away from you, JR. I've been that myself. I'm not trying to put you on front or nothing like that. But I think that we stay in these situations too long. And I did that too. I was with somebody for 6 years and we lived together, had no plans, had no vision. We were just together. And I think those kind of situations kind of slant the perspective because my perspective is maybe she started off strong and maybe she didn't see where it was going, so she stopped doing those things. Maybe she thought y'all was, and it's just my opinion, just outside looking in. And if she comes from a father, most women that come from fathers are a little spoiled because they have a different set of standards for a man. So they just require more. My wife just required things because I'm her husband, and it is what it is. And also the thing about never wanting enough, that's just a woman, period.
Now, of course,
you just have to kind of understand that and understand how to work with that. I can buy my wife a bag today, and she'll want one tomorrow.
Now,
and
of course,
I said, no, we're not buying no more bags for 3 months.
Now, I understand what you're saying.
We're not doing so. I think that sometimes we kind of conflate things, and maybe that situation had ran its course because you said you guys were long distance and you wasn't shit and you knew she ain't want to do it, and I guess you guys you just didn't want to say, you know what, this ain't working. I think you're a great person but it's not going nowhere. I'm gonna free you and let me go over here and do me before we start having these toxic situations happen that will screw us for the next. And see, that's the problem too. These bad relationships taint us for the future.
For the future, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where, like, obviously you said, like, let's not conflate both things, right? But here's the thing, OG, yeah, like, most guys do think the same, so that's why I'm not gonna argue your response, because even after I sat down myself, it's like, right, where did I go wrong? What could I obviously done better, X, Y, Z? Because like I said, right, when I was on a phone call with her, I gave her two options. If you want to stay, we can work it out instead of giving up, right? Or if you ain't trying to do this, I understand. Before it gets to the toxic, like I said, the person that wants to leave, right? They ain't got no more fight in the relationship. But the person that wants to stay, it's on them. So of course it can turn toxic, right? So that's why, like, you've said everything, like, you've hit the nail on the head there, and that's why I said, like, yeah, I even, like, me sitting and reflecting, I understood, okay, where could I have made the move? Should I made the move here? Obviously, you always sit there, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's when you know you're effed up, right? Does that make sense? Somewhere along the line. So I understand what you're saying, OG. So yeah, so that was me giving that, and just like I said, yeah, just different perspectives, and yeah, it's gonna taint your your future relationship, whatever it is. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, don't be toxic or trying to think negative or whatever it is, right? And to go to Miss Chloe, I get what you mean about obviously from the 25 to the 40. Most guys, or majority of the guys, understand that things aren't always going to be the same. Does that make sense? So if you're going to change, your husband, so if you change, your husband's going to understand that you've changed, because he has to adapt to the situation. But best believe you would have had that conversation somewhere along that line. Whether he would have been happy about it or not, he would have adapted, because you would have gave him something in return for the change. Because you understand that you have to also give something back. It's not about, oh, I'm not gonna do this, because I know that's what you done. Does that make sense? So what I'm basically saying is, it's that a lot of the ladies out here is more case of, just even last week, the whole slavery situation. Let's just think about that. Them just doing things for men. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Where that's how bad it is.
Yeah, I get it. You're talking about the mentality.
The mindset. The mentality.
Let me say this though, JR. I think, and I said I understand exactly what you're saying. I think once again, as men, this is a mindset change. So it's not always about the woman changing and you adapting. Yep, sometimes it's about you moving a certain way and her changing. Yeah, we have to take ourselves out of this position of the woman setting the direction and we just following. See, that's actually backwards. Yeah, you got to set the direction. You got to set the standard for how the relationship is going to go, because at the end of the day, you are the leader. So it's not always about you adapting to her changes. Sometimes it's you pushing for change. Sometimes it's you leveling up and stepping your game up, and that's causing her to make changes because she wants to align with you and move with the program. Yep, and let's say for me, as I can continue to hear some of these things, and let's say this is not directly at you, JR. Let's say I hear this in a lot of conversations. As men, we don't value ourselves enough. Yeah, it's almost like we've put ourselves in a position where we just take what we can get. And that's not how that's supposed to go. And that may explain why we end up in some of these situations with some of these young ladies. And I'm going to be honest, that's not worthy of our time.
Agree with that.
Yeah, so I think we have to, let's say as men, we got to sit back and just think about that particular piece and how we value ourselves. And I think if we walked or lived our lives with the understanding of what our value is, knowing what we bring to a situation, knowing what type of infrastructure we bring to a situation, we would move differently and think differently. Yep, and some of this stuff that's going on, we would not accept. Yep, going back to the point, you know what I'm saying, when me and Joe were, you know, kind of talking earlier. Well, when Joe made his point earlier and I was responding, you know what I'm saying, we have to value the D. The D is valuable. Yep, the D is valuable. The D creates life. So we have to value it as such. Yet we have to move as such. Everybody is not worthy. Let's just be honest about that thing. Yet when it comes to your value as a man, you have to move as such. Everybody can't be in your space. Everybody's not worthy of your time. Yeah, you got to move as such. Yeah, but we can't keep falling back and decreasing our value and just putting ourselves in this position of we just going to accept what somebody's passing out, or we just going to accept what's given, or we just going to accept something because it's coming from the opposite sex. That's the wrong mindset. Yeah, so if anything, we got to change that. Yeah, but we got to understand what our value is. Now, at the same time, let me say this, because there's a caveat to that. I'm not talking about fake value. I'm talking about you actually living that value. Yep, you being that man of value, bringing value to other people's lives. You taking that leadership position. You mentoring, you guiding other folks around you. You guiding young ladies around you, your family, and so forth. Like, I'm talking about actually living value, not just saying you valuable and basically, you know, being out here being on some nonsense. I'm not talking about that. We got a lot of that going on out here. But you actually got to live that. And I think, like I said, once we live that, understand that, and value that for what it is, I think a lot of this nonsense will slow down. But man, let me curveball this real quick. Like I said, I know we're getting close to that 10 o'clock. I got a couple randoms that came my way. So I'm just going to call this little piece of the conversation, man, make it make sense. So we got a couple. I'm going to run through these. Let's see, because I got some questions. So we're going to run with curve number one.
I am the problem. Oh, good. Maybe this is a sign that some personal accountability is actually being taken. I went on a date with this guy. Okay, go on. And he was like, it's getting late. Do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, that's totally fine. Just come over. Oh, good. Mutually agreed upon boundaries have been set. So what's the problem? Go to his place. He respects my wishes. He's so nice. He cuddles me all night. And go on. And I'm like, are you gay? What? A man acted like a gentleman, respected the woman's wishes, and now he's what? Explain. I just wanted him to like try, and then for me to be like, no. You know what I mean? So you wanted the guy to completely disregard your boundaries. Right. More mixed signals than a broken stoplight. I wasn't going to sleep with him. Now I feel ugly. And that's not his fault. That's a self-confidence problem. This is what... Oh my God. Indeed. By the way, that was probably one of those good guys that want to spend so long wondering where exactly they're at. Okay, I am...
All right. So that's curveball.
That's why we do what we do.
Hold on, Joe. I know he's about to do that.
I'm gonna slow down. Slow down.
I know.
That's the reason.
I know we got a lot of folks in the comments. I know we got the panel as well. So what did I just see? I need somebody to make this make sense to me.
Mr. Price, you better let me jump on this, please. Oh my God.
Come on, JR. what did I just watch, man? Explain this to me, man.
So basically, going back to before, obviously, you played the video, yeah. So basically, what I was gonna say was, today, 2024, right? Unfortunately, the game is very different because what you've just witnessed there, yeah, is the mindset. So what I was basically gonna say was, the other day I was in my kitchen and I just seen the letter, one letter just sitting there, right? I was in my mom's house, right? So I was in the kitchen, I seen the letter, my little sister's letter, or whatever it was. And I just like, something just to do, they send out these packages, right, about how to protect women, they must, DA, whatnot, right? And on there, he says something about, obviously financial abuse, and whatnot. So, and that comes down to something as simple as your man saying no to you using your credit, to you using a credit card. You can get penalized for something as small as that, right? So, even with that lady's mindset, where the guy's done all the right things, he's listened to her wishes. You heard it right. He listened to her demand, but you said the guy shouldn't listen to her demand, right? Sorry, shouldn't listen to women telling them not to take the lead, so guys should take the lead. But she's then reversed it and said, hey, he should have still took the lead and made the move XYZ. He didn't, but she told him, you should respect me because ain't no sex happening, and he respected that. Only for you to still go on and shame the guy at the end that he's XYZ. So what I'm saying is, it's that any move that men make today, they are going to get penalized or they're going to get criminalized for it. Hence why this notion of men are letting women lead, because unfortunately you cannot fight these women, because you shouldn't, right? You shouldn't. So because you physically can't put hands on them and you don't want to argue with them, so by default men are on the losing end. Does that make sense? So I was having the conversation with my current girlfriend, and just the whole gaslighting, manipulating crap that nonsense that they come with, and I said to her, like, you can sit there and cry, so you can sit there and listen, or you can get back in your car and go back home. Off you go, because I ain't on this nonsense kind of stuff that you're trying to play here, the whole gaslighting and trying to make me seem as if I'm in the wrong for trying to hold you accountable for something that you done. But the whole shaming tactic is to make me fall back so I don't have to hold it accountable. But if I then overstep my mark, now it's abuse. Because you're shouting at me, XYZ. So that's all based on say that unfortunately today, the pseudo power that women have, that the system has given women as a way out, puts men on a back seat where men unfortunately just got to sit there and kind of take it. But if you're a guy that's in the game that you can, do what you gotta do, you ain't got no issues. But unfortunately, a lot of men haven't got the XP to be able to deliver what needs to be delivered, because they haven't had the opportunity, whether it's their fault or not, whatever it is, to be able to play the game. So they don't understand what comes with it. So the moment they not get a girl, well, he gets excited or whatnot, and she ends up walking all over him because he's scared to overstep the boundary of being a man.
All right, let me say something, Quay.
Go ahead, Vince.
First of all, she get that out the way. She goofy. But back to the man. Look, in 2024, nah, you ain't got to come over. If we ain't having sex, there's no need for you to come over. I'm not trying to hold you. See, that's what these guys. He still was in the lead, because he still could have led. And if she don't think he gay or whatever, then you move on to the next one. I don't understand why we try to feel like we have to impress a woman. They should be impressing us. If she feel like he gay, then let him be gay. He can go on to somebody else that ain't playing these games. She the one that's goofy. I mean, my thing, he should be like, no, no, we ain't playing those games. Well, that's like something like a 15-year-old. I'm not gonna come over. We'll just lay in the bed and spoon. Be grown. Nobody spooning. No, you just when you decide, and most of the time, I don't know, in my situations, I knew after the first couple of days she was gonna give it to me. It wasn't even no issue, because and then you play it right, just like these guys be asking chicks, when you gonna give me some? That is so lame to me. Well, I'm not gonna take you out if you don't give me none. I said, when did guys start doing that lame stuff like that? You take her out because you want to take her out. If you think she ain't going to have sex with you, then don't take her out no more. A lot of these guys be putting a problem where there is no problem. He should have told her, no, you can't. No. I'm a man and I'm attracted to you, and I want to respect you, so I'm not gonna put myself in that situation. We can just date, and if we get to that point, we get to that point. But don't come over here and try to play me. See, y'all be put. I'm not saying y'all. I ain't saying y'all, but a lot of these guys be putting themselves in a bad situation.
That's real.
So that's just. I was like, this shit. But the bottom line is she goofy.
Mr. Vince, would you agree most guys are stupid when it comes to women? Would you agree most guys are dumb when it comes to women? Majority of the guys?
I think most guys don't think it all the way through. I don't think they think it all the way through. I don't think they're intentional. I think they lead with the bottom head instead of this head. I definitely think
that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
What I'm saying. Most guys are. That's why I mentioned XP. Most guys haven't. Majority of the guys don't have the XP. That's why I say majority of the men are pretty dumb when it comes to playing the game, right? That's just us keeping it real.
It shouldn't be no game to be played. Just be intentional. Like that's the problem.
No.
That's part of the problem.
Oh no, sorry. When I said the game, I mean within the between men and women, the interaction between men and women. Most men are not really there when it comes to it because, like I said, it's their own problem. Because you need to figure that out, right? So that's what I'm saying. They're not able to decipher these things like Vince has said. That's what I said. Majority of the guys don't have the XP.
I think a lot of it comes with experience too. Me experience at 51, I wasn't the same gamified like I was 21. But I always knew. I always knew what it was. A woman not go even really well. See, it's different today too. See, back in our days, a woman by the time you get on that second, third day, she want to give it to you. It's just that the time is right. See, they wasn't doing these. I just want to. I just want to go out to eat. And I'm gonna play you and I'm gonna spin you. I don't know. I never really. It's just. I guess it's a little different now. I don't know.
Is it that the dudes are dumb, or is it just that the dudes that they want what they want? Yeah, because I'm like, at the end of the day,
I get mad when they don't get it. That's the problem.
You can go ahead, IT. Tell them, IT. Go ahead.
You can want what you want. You can want what you want, but you gotta know how to get it, right?
Again, that's the problem. Instead of just leading with intention, you wouldn't have all that extra stuff. Like I'm not getting it. What's the back to the original question? What's the point? What's the end goal? What's the purpose?
I don't know. She's saying it. I don't know.
No.
IT done came on here.
Hold on, and then back to what you about the lady. Yes, she is a goofy, but then again, with the person, the guy having his moral standard, of course he can understand. Hey, she's a goofy, and just would have took that as a loss, and then would have just proceeded to move on. But don't take that experience. All right, this one screw up. Not everybody like that. No. Just take that as a loss. Don't change your standard because unfortunately you came across her. That's the problem. That's part of the problem.
I think the point is that she represents how
no, she don't. She represents the goofies. That's what she represents.
No, she represents a lot of women.
No, she don't.
Modern who thinks that. I promise you. Do you date women? Do you date women? I'm just curious.
She don't represent me. That's what I'm saying. You're saying she represents the majority. No, she does not.
Even the way you're talking right now, you do. I'm gonna be real. The way that you're talking right now, you don't even know it. You don't.
First of all, I did that with the intention. So calm down. Like you don't even know me.
I'm just being real.
Please,
but
please.
Off the last 2-3 minutes,
we won't make it personal. We won't make it personal.
It's not personal.
But she seems young too. She couldn't be no more than about 24. So you got to take age into consideration. Just like young guys, they're not mature. They're not intentional. They don't know if they want to be married at 23, 24. So you got to count some of this as age. And she's cute. So she probably get a lot of pandering. You know, she probably get guys that'll let her lay up and play them dumb little games because she cute. I mean, come on. They probably let her lay up with them for months at a time, just waiting to get it. But when she hit that 32, 33, yeah, she'll know what it is and what it ain't. That cute be done wore off. That cute young be done wore off.
Yeah, let me ask this. So this is my question. Let's say, because I got one more curveball after this, but yeah, I'm just trying to understand the mindset. So you telling the guy that, you know what I'm saying, you will come over, but you're not giving nothing up. Then you come over there and my man respects your request, but then you want to look at him sideways after he respects your request. So I'm just trying to understand what you trying to get out of that? Like what is that doing? Go ahead, Claire.
Two things. And I've said this before. One, women absolutely look for and desire male validation. That's number one. I've said that over and over again. And it does not change. I don't care how many times women march up and down the street with flags and t-shirts on talking about they don't need a man. Women absolutely seek male attention and validation. And when they don't get it, they feel a certain type of way about it. She didn't want him to have sex with her. She didn't want to have sex with him. She just wanted him to want to have sex with her. She didn't plan on it. She had already told him she didn't plan on it. She just wanted him to want to, because of the way it would make her feel to be able to reject him.
Right.
So in a way, she absolutely was playing games. Now, here's the thing. Joe, you're kind of right, but not completely right. You're kind of right that in the sense of in Nicole. So because you're sort of right, that makes Nicole sort of right too, right? You guys aren't, basically neither one of you are wrong. There are obviously a lot of women who are the same way. It just manifests itself differently. She's young, so that's the way it manifests itself in her. But a woman my age will do the same thing. She won't do the exact same thing, but she will do something seeking male attention and validation. It'll just look different, right? So Nicole, that's where Joe's right with that, right? Like a lot of women are like that. But where you're correct, Nicole, is it don't look like that. That was goofy. So you don't present yourself that way, Nicole. And there's women like you that don't present themselves that way. Don't think that way. Don't act that way.
It's a dangerous game.
It absolutely manifests itself in some way, because as women, we do want male attention. We absolutely do want men to validate us in some way. That's just, it's to say that we don't, it's not true, right? Two, for her, like, I just think that this is why we say, men, remove yourself from these women completely. Don't even sleep with them. This is why we say that. Because when y'all give them attention, it validates them. So if you know that this woman is not worth your time, if you know she's not worth your time, don't even sleep with her. Because in a way, you're validating her. And you're making her feel like she has something going for herself that she might not actually have going for herself. But because you're willing to sleep with her, you're validating her. That young girl just proved it. So now you guys can understand why we say what we say when we say just take your attention away from her, period. Just don't do it. Because y'all don't understand that your sex is validating her. Your sex is giving her the attention that she wants. So she's thinking, I must not be that bad. I mean, I must got something going on for me because you're entertaining it. Just don't.
That's real.
I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's simple.
Right. No, that's real. All right, I got one more. I said we still in the segment of Make It Make Sense. So I got another curveball.
What do you guys do for work? Okay.
Tony, I'm 28 and I'm in transportation. I drive trucks.
Okay, let's start over here. Why do we end up hopping Tony's? that was kind of boring. It wasn't nothing like more.
Wait,
just
what was
like,
boring?
I just drive trucks.
I mean, you asked what I do. That's what I do.
What they do currently is okay because they're bosses. I like a boss stature. Not saying that you're not a boss. I like somebody who calls the shots.
You're a gold digger.
I like somebody who can lead me because I call shots. I need somebody who can call my shots as well.
Wait, how do you do both? How do you call the shots and then want someone to call your shots? But see, that's the mindset. That's not atypical. That's actually very common. I actually saw that. I was like, oh, that's normal.
So
No, she could be referring to maybe working like how she might lead in her job, and then she might say, okay, I want somebody to lead at home. But that's not how she phrased it. Commonly, that's what I hear, but that's not how she phrased it. But her perspective of saying his job was more, okay, again, that's a goofy, don't know the age. It was some comments in that video saying, well, one, driving trucks, first of all, you don't know if he owned the truck or if he owned the company, so that was just, again, no, it doesn't matter, but that was part of some of the comments that was said, because maybe she was saying, oh, okay, you just drive trucks, but like maybe she didn't think that he owned anything. I didn't say it didn't matter, but that was just some of the comments in the video.
Yeah,
that's what she thought. I agree, but that was actually a problem because I know truck drivers and they make a lot of money. They don't own not a truck. The society that we would, she saw too many YouTube videos. She listened to too many friends who told her she got to be a boss, babe. She got to be with a boss. But these truck drivers making a lot more money than she's probably 5-6 times more than what she's making. Probably 3-4 times the average man. But she doesn't know that because society doesn't value blue collar workers. So she's looking for someone like myself who trades the stocks and things like that. But if I get my hands dirty, I'm a different kind of man. I'm not the guy that you want to be with. Because before it used to be, I want the milkman. I want to be with the garbage can man. They respected those professions that built the roads, the societies that got their hands dirty. Those are the men that I look up to myself, not the guys who do what I do, the investment bankers and all this highlight. Yeah, but they're not, who lives in those buildings that other men built, who got their hands dirty? I've done those jobs. But see, they're not taught that. And that's the mindset. Where it comes from, I don't know, but that's just the society. And that's the type of women that is more common. Not all of them, but that is more common that I even personally do.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. I said, I got a couple questions around this video. I said, I know we in the curveball time of the show before we get out of here, make it make sense. So she said a couple things that was throwing me off, and I'm trying to understand the mindset. So the first thing she said was she asked the brothers, listen, this was the balloon pop show. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. So she asked the fellas what they did for work. And my man said he was a truck driver, and she said that was boring. So my question is what are we going after? Is it the title or is it the money?
I mean, I think I can't speak. I don't know what type of woman that is because I just don't know. But
I got you. She was 23. She a young head.
Okay, so problem number one. But so she's probably going after both. Like, I mean, at this point, like, there's no way to really make transportation sound glamorous. I mean, I've worked around people in that space, and there's no way to make it sound glamorous.
She's right. It is boring. It is boring. She's right about that.
Teenagers, though, it depends. To me, I don't think it's boring, but that's just me.
It's like that's boring. But she's not working the job, so why does it matter how boring it is? But
we don't know if she worked, but I think she just she's just probably used to something like some flashy work title and something that she probably knows that makes money. But like I said, that's
my man is a doctor. My man is a lawyer.
Yeah, like you said, it speaks to the mindset. So at the end of the day,
is it more the title or is it the money? Because I'm like, okay, so you saying he's saying he a truck driver, so you don't know how much he makes. So he's saying he a truck driver. You saying that's boring, but then it's like if he was a truck driver making 400,000, then what would you be saying? Like I'm trying to understand. Because to me, it seems like it's always something. It's always an issue. If it's the what he do for the money, or if it's the money he making, it's like it's always an issue. And I'm like, which one do you want? Is it just like what?
Both.
I think it's both. But for me, I'm like, I want to stop that. Okay, first of all, you own your own money. You have your own money, and you work, you earn. So what's the problem?
Right.
But different age brackets, so
it's the aesthetic for a lot of these women.
Yeah. Like
you know what?
Think earning a lot of money is flashy. It's not. It's hard. It's hard ass work.
Yeah, I got you.
It's hard ass
work. Go ahead, Vince. I see you come in. Go ahead, Vince.
It's a bunch of cap. That's what it is. Because if you got a child, ask them what our baby daddy do.
Stop the cap.
What your last boyfriend?
Kids, by the way.
Now, if your last boyfriend was a doctor, well, no, I'm gonna say this. If your baby daddy is a doctor, and your last boyfriend was a lawyer, and the one before that was an investment banker, then yeah, you can have those standards. But don't tell me, oh, he worked at Amazon. I was young and dumb. You're still young and dumb. A lot of this be capped, man. And I think a lot of it got to do with this whole, let me kill it before I can even get it started. Because I really can't measure up. You understand what I'm saying? It's like these people that say, I don't want to be a millionaire. No, you can't be a millionaire. You don't have the skills to be a millionaire. I wouldn't buy a $300,000 Lamborghini. No, you can't afford a $300,000.
I ain't got that money.
Stop the cap. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Because if you could afford it, you would get it.
I feel that.
So let me think a lot of this time, and then these young girls, they so Instagram. So I would tell these guys, and then it is going to be hard. It is just like it was hard for me to find my wife. I was single for 20-something years and ran through a whole bunch of dummies. And I was a dummy too, but I ran through a lot of these boss nurses who think I'm gonna be an MP and I'm gonna make more money than you. I got 4 degrees, but I'm $1 million in debt, and you think you got something because you got a little Mercedes you can't afford. So it's not gonna be easy, young guys. All I can say is get yourself together, get your money right, and the world is your oyster. And if you got to go somewhere else to get her, just like I told my nephews, find somebody to get on your program. I would like for her to be, us, but hey, because you know what I've seen, and it's a crazy thing. Last 2 places I've been, I went to the Ritz in Chicago last week. I was in Cancun last month. You know how many Indian weddings I've seen? Just like they royalty, man. 22, 23 with them turbans on and pulling up in court. They be getting married, man, putting money together.
That's the expectation 50. To do it young, yeah.
They don't be 50 like me. Done wasted and toe up 30 years of my life. Now I'm trying to hurry up and get it together. Young.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is, marriage ain't important and we don't need this and we don't need that. People who ain't even built this country is coming over here thriving and we struggling. It sickens my stomach, guys. You know what I'm saying? So you young bros, it's gonna be hard. But my thing is, you vet them early. You get them out the way early. You don't spend. If they ain't talking right in the first couple dates, boom on to the next, boom on to the next, boom on to the next. Don't waste no time with them. If they, think they're an Instagram model and you see that little bump on the back, just find you a bump on the back that got some sense. Because there's something out there.
Oh my God.
Yo.
You wild for that, man. All right, I got one more question out of that video, then I'm done. I got one more question. So the young lady made a point of she is looking for somebody who can lead her, but she still want to call the shots. So ladies, I need y'all to explain it to me. Why do y'all say y'all looking for a leader, but yet y'all still want to call the shots like the leader? Like, somebody explain it to me. Ladies, I know we got ladies in the comments. Somebody explain that to me.
She's basically just say you want a man that makes a lot of money, but you want him to get on your program.
So she want a sponsor. That's what you're saying. She wants a sponsor.
When they say, do you see how she said it? You got to think of the context, right? He said, I drive trucks, right? That's what he said. I drive, I'm in transportation. I drive trucks. And she said, that's boring. Then she immediately said, see, I'm looking for a leader. Just because that man, even if he didn't, which by the way, he did say he's setting up his own business to do that, right? But let's just say we didn't know that. Even if all that man, did was just drive the truck. Why does that not equal leader? Why? Because he drives a truck. Why do you think that he can't lead because he drives a truck? Right? So let me decode that. You're looking, and then she started talking about stuff that they're doing, it's boss stature. So basically, you're looking for someone who is at a certain financial level and has a certain title that comes with that for the aesthetic. But at the end of the day, you are a dominant personality. So you very much plan on dominating. But you need him to be a leader, aka you need him to be a boss so that he can handle everything while you tell him what to do.
That's crazy.
Can I say something?
That's insane.
Go ahead, JR. Then we're gonna get ready to take closing. Go ahead, JR.
Wild.
Yeah, Mr. Price, with what Miss Clubby's just said, I know obviously that's just the one video, right? But now there was some stupid when I say that men are on the back burner because hey, they want you to lead, but you don't have the ability to lead. They want you to lead them, but you have no ability to lead them. I told you can lead them in the bedroom. That's it. Because you're supposed to be a man in the bedroom. But guess what? In the bedroom, it goes with the whole liberation thing, right? They want to be free. So let them be free in the bedroom, but you take charge. But hey, outside of that bedroom, I'm in charge now. Yeah, you better go make that long money. Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And then when I feel like I want to leave you at the end of it, that I'm gonna do just that. So if she's asking for a rich guy, right? If she's asking for a rich guy, what chance has he got? And what chance do the flipping brokies have if that's what she's coming with? If a guy with long money is not gonna have the ability to lead, but he's supposed to be a man, how are we supposed to correct this? Somebody please help me out here, please.
JR, see, that's the problem, JR. That's the problem.
You can't correct it. You can't correct it. You leave it in the streets.
Exactly.
No, I understand.
No,
I understand. Yeah, what you're saying, like, you leave them in the streets, yeah, and you walk over at them, whatever. I understand what you're saying, right? But this is what I'm saying, yeah, Mr. Price. If you remember, first ever time I jumped on here, right? One of the comments said, JR trying to save the world, right? Can you remember that comment?
I got you. Yeah.
How are we supposed to get married if you're saying step over these women and just leave them if they don't have to improve nothing? Just keep walking up. Majority of them have got that kind of mindset. So we keep walking to what? Okay, everybody's single. We go back to the drawing board. The men have always stayed being men because you're supposed to stay as a man, but they don't have to improve nothing. So if men walk away, are they going to improve? That's the question we got to ask.
But JR, it's the mindset, man. So let me say this. First of all, this is my opinion. Listen, I don't have stats in front of me. I don't think it's majority of women. So that's the first thing. Two.
When's the last time you dated, Kwa?
Man, don't start that, Josie. I know y'all about to try this.
Why do y'all keep saying majority of women, though? It's unfortunate that y'all sound like y'all have some horror stories. I'm sorry. On behalf of the good women, I apologize for the ones y'all came across. But child, it ain't everybody. It's not.
We're aware.
I'm about to let Vince talk to these young fellas, man.
It's not everybody. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm gonna say this. I'm a little older, so I don't know y'all demographic. I have a son that's 28. So I've only been married 5 years, so I haven't been out the game that long. I just don't understand as a black man who's somewhat attractive with no kids, my man got a foreign accent. I don't understand why you having any problems. Cause you got more options than most. Cause after the white man, we number 2.
But
For
you're talking to me.
They want the
desirability.
white man because
For
of the money.
desirability, right?
They want the white man because of the money.
Yeah.
Because if we had their money, we would be number 1.
Absolutely, 1000%.
Because most of us have been raised by women, so we're a lot more nurturing than the white man, a lot more accommodating than the white man. They just got more money, and with money comes power, and it comes compromise, and it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. So I don't, you know. Maybe y'all need to expand y'all horizons a little bit more, but I get it. It's a lot of modern women. But I think as a black man, the world is your oyster. The world is your oyster, not American women. See, American women can't go nowhere else and get rich men. So they can't go over to the Caribbean and get a husband. Oh, they go get somebody that's fishing for fish. We can go anywhere and get a wife because we don't care about them degrees and money and all that kind of stuff. All we want is a little compromise. So we can go over to South America or somewhere else, or even someone that's not American and black. It's not as easy for American women because they want the money and they want the status, and the money and the status is in America. Just keep it real, ladies. Y'all don't take the girls to Jamaica and be bringing back them guys that be showing y'all the tours. Y'all might mess around with them. Y'all mess around with them now. Come on,
I'm not sharing my experiences.
But y'all ain't bringing them back to America to take care of them.
Well, if I believe the stats, right, and y'all already know how I feel about stats, okay? But I do believe that you can use stats just as a you know what I'm saying, as informative. And if I do believe the stats, then I would say that what the stats say is, unfortunately for black women are at the tail end for desirability across all men.
And it's not about the looks either. It's not about the look. And it's not about the looks.
No. I don't think it's about the look. I didn't drill down into see like what is it that men are saying, just that they are at the bottom of the list for desire. So Vince is right. Black women aren't going to be the ones that can go abroad and find a rich man to marry them, right? It's going to be much harder for them to do something like that. That's just not really gonna happen like that. It would have to be a special situation, right? But as men providing the resources, you guys are going to be able to go into other, countries and be desired, right? So right. It is different. And listen, I always am going to champion for black men to be with black women, because I do still believe we were made for each other. So I still think that we should be each other's preference. But at the same time, I'm not going to tell someone that they have to make it work with someone that is not willing to cooperate either. I'm not going to tell you to do that either. Right. So at the end of the day, you do have to make the choice that's best for you. Now, I am not of that club that thinks that somebody outside of your ethnicity is the best choice automatically by default. I think that's crazy. But at the same time, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm always going to say, choose your ethnicity first. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I think for me, when I hear men say, men, you need to lead, it's not coming from a place of we're saying that men need to be doggish about it and pull women around by their hair. And I think what it is as a leader, you understand what you're up against. As a leader, you can make those decisions, like Vince said, very early on, to say, I'm not going to put any more energy into this person because they're not worth it. Cut my losses and move on. As a leader, you understand that your time is valuable. You are valuable, right? So it's not about getting this person to go along with your plan. It's about, listen, you either go along with my plan and you don't. Now, if this woman really wants you like that, she's going to cave. Period. If she doesn't, that tells you everything you need to know about her. Move around her. And I think that if men as a collective start to do this, without hesitation and without still validating and entertaining these women by continuing to have sex with them, I know what I'm asking you to do, guys. I get it. But like Joe said, apparently y'all can just go to the strip club. So it really shouldn't be a problem. So pull back. Stop entertaining these women. Stop having sex with these women. Just stop. Stop validating these women. And either they're going to want to be with the man enough to say, I got to make some changes. These men are just flat out saying no all across the board. They won't even touch me. Or they going to get left behind. It is what it is. I guarantee you there's some women right now that if y'all was to actually get on call and dig y'all heels in and say, we're not going to entertain you. We ain't liking your pictures. We're not doing none of that. We ain't touching you. Don't talk to me. Like my man said, I just don't date women, whatever the case may be. There are going to be some women that when they hit that wall or whatever the case may be, or young women going to be looking at their aunties like she looked desperate and busted, disgusted and can't be trusted. And I don't want to be it. So there might be some changes that I have to make. The problem is there are still men entertaining this. So what's the incentive for women to stop? Maybe Joe, you're not entertaining it. I get that. JR, maybe you're not entertaining it. I get that. But please understand that these women are still operating around some men that are clearly still entertaining this foolishness. And it's enough of them where they feel validated in their behavior.
That's real. That's real. All right, we got to get up out of here, man. Y'all done made me run all past time. I'm taking closing and we gone. I'm going to go to the ladies first, fellas second, and we out of here. I'm going to come to IT first. IT, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Sure. So regarding the topic, should men stop dating? If you don't have purpose to go long term, and you kind of with the foolishness, then I think you shouldn't date. Because I think we've had enough of the foolishness. Like I said, the dating pool got toxins, pee, and poop in it. And we don't need that.
So you just gonna end it like that? That's how you gonna close that up?
Like that.
Bruh. All right. Appreciate that close. Chloe, it's on you. You want to say anything before we get out of here?
I don't know. I guess I've said a lot. So I probably don't have anything else that I need to say. But no, for real. Guys, seriously. We see y'all. We do. I think we just want you guys to see us too. Like women, we see you guys. We see the JRs. We see the Joes. Like we see you guys. We want to be seen by you. And sometimes it feels like when you loop and group us, not saying that Joe did that or Jared did that, I'm just speaking in general terms, right? When you loop and group us the way we get looped and grouped sometimes, we don't feel seen. And that's unfortunate because a lot of us literally are waiting for our men, our Black men, men of value, men who are on their purpose, men who, do value themselves and know how to, treat a woman and pour into a woman. Here's the thing. As a man, that is your job. You are supposed to pour into me. You are supposed to pour into a woman. That's actually what you're supposed to do. That's why you were given a very important task of being the head. That's what you're supposed to do, and take that seriously. Don't take it like it's a drawback, like it's a drawback. Like, no, you should want to do this, right? And being in that position is not an easy position to be in. Like God didn't give you guys this position because it was easy. He built you guys for this position. He literally gave you everything you needed as a man to be in this position. Now, I'm not saying you should do it for just anybody, right? But you were built for this. Absolutely, a woman should leave you in a better situation than she was when she met you. Now, when I say leave, I mean leave at the end of y'all's relationship, not leave because she divorced you or this. I'm not promoting that. I'm simply saying that this woman should end up benefiting from being with you. She should. She's supposed to. Because here you are as a leader pouring into her. Here you are as a leader massaging her. Here you are as a leader sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with her. So she should get better. She will. You should want that. It's not a chore. If anyone feels that way, then they're not ready to take on the responsibility of leading any woman. So I would say, take the time to check your mindset, because not everybody is ready to lead. And sometimes when women say, well, I don't know if I can trust this man to lead me. Sometimes it's cap and it's because they just want to be the one in the lead position. But sometimes it's because they have unfortunately put themselves in a situation with a man that was not ready to lead. And now they're going into other relationships, bleeding all over every other man because of that experience. But here's the thing, men do it too. There's a lot of men bleeding on women in general because of their poor experiences. First step, own that, because you have something to do with that poor experience. And then two, just, I think a lot of our mindsets need to change. It's not just women. Like, all men are not losers and cheaters and broke. And all women are not, modern women, feminists, angry, misandrists. That's not all of us. And I think we got to stop putting us in these buckets, because it's, I don't know. I mean, it's sad. It's unfortunate. I think we're missing out on opportunities to be together because of it.
Okay, I appreciate that right there. Vince, it's on you, man. What do you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yes, just to answer the question, should men stop dating? I'm gonna say yes. I think that especially our younger men need to stop dating until they really understand what their purpose is and what they want. I think it's very dangerous now to be casually dating with this whole Me Too movement and the things of that nature. It's very dangerous to be casually dating, because people say casually dating, but when you start having sex and spending time, you're gonna catch feelings and you're gonna have emotions. Now, what I can say as men is we have to be honest and accountable. We can't expect wifely duties without being husbands. And I think that's when my situation changed. When I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to be the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm going to put my purpose first. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be a man of character. I'm going to be a man of my word. And then I found a wife who's very compromising and very submissive. And she would say that, but she don't care about y'all. But I'm just saying though, so a lot of times, guys, and just coming from a lot of these conversations, it's like, what do y'all really want? Not you guys on the panel. I'm just saying men in general. You know, either you want a committed relationship or a wife, or you don't. And if you don't, then you're gonna have to put up with the goofies. Because goofies are not wives. Goofies don't compromise. Goofies are not going to make your plate every single time. They're going to do it when they feel like it, because there is no incentive. And there's no plan and there's no purpose. One thing I understand about a woman, they love a man that got a plan. Ooh, they love a man that got a real plan. And it don't have to be no $1 million plan. It could just be, I'm a truck driver and we're going to get a nice little house in Detroit and raise some kids. So as men, we have to be a lot more decisive, and a lot more intentional. Because I do believe there's good women out here, but we have to be a certain type of man. Because I believe, because a lot of the guys like, well, they gonna take this and they go. A good woman is not gonna leave a good man. I don't see it. I don't see, because they're too valuable. They're too and it's not just the money. It's the if you got kids, it's the fatherhood. If they got a plan, it's a life plan together. Most women don't leave valuable men. Just take it away from these entertainers and athletes, because that's a whole different population. I'm talking about the average person. And then some men understand that, that's the chance we take. I mean, I feel if something happened, I can get it again. That's just how I feel. That's who I am. If we get divorced tomorrow, I still feel marriage is a good thing. If you take me for half, I believe I can get it back again. That's just how I get down. But I think that men need to date with intention, put our D's in our pockets, and cut these women close. 2 or 3 dates is all you get. That's what y'all need to say. Okay, I'm 28, 29 now. I got a certain type of woman I want. I got a certain purpose. I'm gonna give them 3 dates, and if it ain't going the way I see it should go, if anything is a red flag, cut them loose. I don't care how cute she is, Joe. I don't care if she got that bump like Buffy.
No.
I love her.
Not a cap. Oh my God.
Y'all wild for that. You wild for that one, Vince. You wild for that. Let me come down to the fellas. So we got Joe, we got Joe, we got JR. Joe, I saw you off mute, man. You want to say something before we get out of here?
Did you get Nicole yet? I don't think she spoke.
No, she was first, man. Go ahead.
She was first? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, she went first. Ladies went first, man.
Okay, I thought you started with Chloe for some reason.
No. They already went, man. The top row is done. It's on you and JR now. Go ahead. It's on you.
All right, cool. Well, I only got like 3 points. I think Chloe made a lot of valid points in terms of us men. We do have a habit of looping and grouping, compartmentalizing. That's just the way we're wired. We just, we look at statistics and say this here, 1 + 1 = 2. But from your perspective, it's not so black and white. So you're right about that. In terms of, and that's something I do think we have to be more careful about, is not taking the sum of our experiences and making it the general rule, which is a fair point. So when you speak about pouring into a woman, that she's supposed to be a vessel, like the Bible speaks about. The issue is, and not just speaking from my experience, but talking to a lot of men who date a lot of women, as well as myself, in real life, not just like, oh, what you hear on the internet. This is real life. Woman's supposed to be a vessel, but a lot of these vessels are full of holes, and sometimes we can't see. And I know that's like, that can have a double meaning. I don't mean it that way.
I'm letting you go. It's your clothes. It's your clothes. Go ahead.
I don't mean it that way. But like, just things are leaking. So when a man is pouring into a woman, she's not. Sometimes we don't always see where the leak is coming from. And so we're pouring a lot of our time, our energy, and our resources into said woman. At least for me, when I pour into anything, I expect a harvest from that. I expect some sort of return on my investment, so to speak. So it's just by nature, as a man, we have the seed, a woman is the earth, so to speak. She's the soil. We plant a seed. Logically, reasonably, we expect a baby to come from that soil. But when you are pouring into said woman, we're not getting what we should reasonably expect from a woman as a result of pouring that time, energy, and resources into a woman, giving her the attention that she wants. Then that becomes an issue. We become drained, we become fatigued. And so we just kind of move on from that, and we become despondent, if you will. And finding those holes and leaks can be tricky. You hope that you find it sooner rather than later. A lot of times you're kind of in a situation where it's like, oh, wow, 3-4 years into a relationship, I'm just now finding this out. But that's not always how life goes. You look for it, but it's not always there, and it's not always apparent until it's too late. Secondly, you also mentioned that our negative experiences, that we have to own up to a lot of it. I do agree with that to a certain extent. But I would use this analogy. If I'm driving on the road and I get into a car crash and a drunk driver, hits me head on, is it fair to say that I am also at fault for being at the wrong place at the wrong time? Because in some cases, it's just a matter of that individual being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're getting hit with something that they didn't see coming. It's not because they use the law of attraction, they attracted these negative situations. Sometimes it's just an unfortunate situation, and it happens more often than not. So now you have to kind of think to yourself, is it me that's causing this? Because some of us do think about that. It's not like we're going around blaming a lot of these women for the way that they are in this modern world. It's just that we see a lot of car crashes, and we're either receiving it or we're seeing our friends and family or other men receiving it. It's like, well, where's this coming from? Are all of them responsible solely for that? Sure, to some extent. They're also driving as fast as the drunk driver sometimes. Maybe they're driving past a stop sign, but that's not always the case. You could be following the rules, doing everything you're supposed to do, stopping at the stop sign, going when the light says green, but you can still get hit on by a car comes unexpected out of nowhere. And we would always say, well, that person is responsible for hitting me. And it's not fair to say that that person should take any responsibility for what happened other than them recovering from that. So yes, when you spoke about the trauma and the things that come about as a result of the things that we go through, those of us who are still out here dating, quote unquote, modern women, it is our responsibility to go and seek some sort of counsel, some sort of help, meditation. Some guys go to guys, some guys actually should go to therapy. That is our responsibility. But as far as being accountable for something that is completely out of our control, in some cases, that's just the way it is. Lastly, the reason why I asked Quay that question, which I think I might actually have stumped him. I just asked you, when's the last time you've been, and if you've been married to Chloe for as long as I think you have, for quite some time, you're married for a long time. Vince is an older man. He spoke about a time bygone, like, oh yeah, I remember when you went on 3 dates and they used to be, yeah, no, that doesn't happen. And Nicole is a woman. So like, she doesn't date women. Vince is out of the market. He's older. And Quay, you've been married for so long. So when me and GR speak about it, it's like, yeah, no, this is what we see. We don't want this to be the reality, but this is what I observe. Now, I do our best to try not to absorb that and say, well, woe is me. This is just the way it is, because I am fortunate enough to where every once in a while you find that needle in the haystack, like Chloe spoke of earlier. You find that. But sometimes that haystack, you're going through it, you're going to find a bunch of roaches, rodents, rats, traps, all types of things in trying to get to that particular diamond in the rough, so to speak. But the thing is, you say, well, shouldn't a man go through all of that to try to look for his one woman? That's not normal and that's not natural. I'm not convinced that this mindset of, as a man, you have to go through so many women, whether it's through sex, through dating, however way you want to do it, to find the woman that is normal thinking, that has a good head on her shoulders, that's feminine, that's soft, and that just knows how to treat a man and respect a man. That should be the standard. It shouldn't be something that we as Western men have to go searching for and finding for and clawing for, fighting for, dogging women out for. It should just be there. Just like the expectation for a man to just be a man, be masculine, we have the same expectation for a woman to just be woman and be feminine. Lastly, Vince said to be more decisive, be more intentional, to lead with a plan. I agree. If more men had a plan, I think personally, that's probably where JR failed. He was younger than at the time, most likely, because he was young. He's like, oh, I got this beautiful woman. Most likely, that's what he was thinking. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I know how I was thinking when I was young. You don't necessarily come with a plan necessarily when you're young. Me, my father in my life told me to always have a plan for women. Women tend to like to follow men who has a plan, some sort of steps that she can follow, a path. And a lot of young guys don't necessarily have that. So with that, I would say with the younger women, like we saw in the video, you could say, well, she deserves some leeway, because if you're going to give a pass to a young man who doesn't necessarily always have a plan, shouldn't you give a pass to a young woman who doesn't know how to follow a good man? Possibly. But I didn't know she had 2 kids, so that's a whole different story. That means she knows some things. She should have learned some things no matter what age. You don't have 2 kids and think, oh, yeah, you start talking like that. That to me is not an excuse. I digress. With that being said, that's it, fellas. Y'all have ladies and gentlemen, I should say, y'all have a great night, and see y'all soon.
All right, Joe. No, we appreciate that close, man. Let me say this. I'm not about to let you off the hook that easy, man. So you tried to come for me earlier, right? So let me say this. Even when I was out here in the dating market, these ladies wasn't just everywhere. So you still had to be selective, right? But the difference about me is I don't entertain a lot of folks. Yep, as a young lady, if you didn't hit the mark, you didn't get no hollers from me. Yeah, that's how Quay Price moved, and I've always moved that way. And if you did hit the mark and I decided to entertain you, then we're going to move forward. But other than that, you wouldn't get no hollers from me. Yeah, but I think that's the difference. I think we have adapted this mindset that we have to go through all of this trauma to find the right person. And that's not true. Yep, to a lot of this stuff, once again, like I said, we got to stop giving away our power as men. As men, we have the ability to say no. Yep, I don't want you. I'm not entertaining you. You can't get this D. I'm not taking you out nowhere. We have that ability, and we have to use it. Yeah, we don't have to just entertain people to see if we get lucky and somebody gonna work out. See, that's the mentality that we got today. We entertain a lot of people and let me just see what happened. And that's not the mindset you should have. Yeah, you got to go in with the intention mindset. Yep, this person is already showing me something. They showing me that they hitting the mark. I ain't even really said nothing to them yet. I'm just watching them move. They showing me that they hitting the mark. Now I'm going to entertain her. So yeah, I was very selective in my process. And there's only a few women, literally a few women, that can say that they made the cut. Literally. So yeah, that's the difference, man. Like I said, we can say no to some of this stuff that's going on out here. We don't have to entertain it. Yeah, we don't have to go through the busted pockets and the blown up credit card from all of the dates and the nonsense and this date here, that date here, $200 here, $300. We ain't got to do none of that. Yeah, we just have to approach the situation very selectively. We have to understand our value when we approach the situation. And I think that's the key that we never talk about. We got to really understand our value when we approach the situation. If we really understood our value, like I said, a lot of these young ladies would not even make the cut. Yep, you wouldn't even entertain them. Yep, just based on how you walk in your journey. Yeah, but that's the key, especially for the men. But I appreciate that close, man. But yeah, if you come for me, I got to come after you, man. That's just how that's got to go, Joe. Well, we still cool though. We still cool.
Is it safe to say you were raised by your father or like an uncle who was there constantly? Yeah.
Yeah, so I had both parents in the household, and like I said, my dad was the same way. He was very selective, and he has been married for 50 plus at this point.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he ain't play them games, and I don't play them games either. And like I said, I don't have to. We don't have to go through all the traumas and all that nonsense to get to where we need to get. And that's a change that I think for fellas, if I'm gonna drop a nugget for the fellas tonight, that's it. Understand your value and move as such. And like I said, that will weed out a lot of the nonsense right out the gate before you even open your mouth. But let me come down here to JR. I don't want to leave him hanging. JR, you want to say anything before we get out of here, man? Or did I lose him? Oh, there you go. Go ahead, JR. It's on you.
I'm here. So yeah, should men? What was the question again? Sorry, should men what?
Should men stop dating? Should they just let it go and call it a day?
Boy. Oh no, man, because like I said, obviously I'm in a relationship. And I said earlier, yeah, feminism, yeah, does work great wonders, man. I ain't gotta take care of nothing, you know. So for me, I'm happy, you know, so I'm winning. So for me, my experience obviously different, if you know what I mean. So obviously for the other guys, like, you know, as we always say, you know, go out there, sort yourself out, improve yourself, and um, you know, trying to attract the lady as best as possible, you know. Do what you gotta do, you know, improve yourself, your image, everything like as best as possible, and you know, try and get yourself in the game and see if you can find someone that, you know, will like you and hopefully go and build onto something.
Straight like
And
that.
obviously,
That's
yeah,
where you
and
leaving it,
obviously,
man.
yeah, and also, yeah, thank you for having me on again, once again, and chopping it with the panel.
No doubt, man. No, we appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, I'm gonna shout the whole panel out, so we're gonna get up out of here. I think that's all the closing for tonight. So shout out to my panel. Shout out to Chloe, Vince, Nicole, JR, Joe. Appreciate y'all holding me down on the panel tonight. Shout out to everybody down in the comments. Shout out to Arab Black TV. You've been dropping comments all night. Appreciate you, brother. Supporting the platform, you know what I'm saying, holding down the comments. Shout out to everybody else in the comments as well. I got a lot of them. Eva Wright, Kenyatta, Donovan. I don't want to miss anybody. It's just a list that goes back. I said IT was in the comments as well. But shout out to y'all. If I missed anybody, my bad. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the comments. Please. Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm still not happy with the both of yous, you know. Still waiting for that double up, man. What's going on?
The double.
Come on now.
Man, we got the rest up here, man. What you mean double up, man? Hold on, man.
We need like the extra show week, man. We need two. Oh man. I'm over in England. You're waiting one.
What we gonna talk about, Jared? You gotta tell us what to talk about.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram. Then.
Tell us what to talk about.
You know, and then we'll try to work something out for the near future. Then I'll try to hit you up on Instagram then.
Okay.
We could do a little work. Let's say shout out to everybody who shoots us video. Shout out to J.U. Griffin. He's always shooting over content for some of the shows. Let's say these videos that we use, these are definitely from folks, you know what I'm saying, who follow the platform. They send us stuff and basically we, you know, go through it, you know, and see what we can get a, you know, good conversation, a good value add conversation out of. So shout out to everybody who sends us videos or sends us posts for the show. We appreciate y'all. But man, I ain't gonna hold us on here no longer, man. This is Kandid Konvos. We do the show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live on YouTube and Facebook, so definitely smash that like button, hit that subscribe as well, and hit that share if you feel so inclined. We want to get this content out to as many of our people as possible. But man, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we're gonna catch you guys next Wednesday.